It's been a long time. It was diagnosed in 1998. It was lower left-sided colitis, and at the time was kind of dealing with a lot of stress in my life and things like that, and was kind of surprised going to a GI doctor and even getting that diagnosis. I really didn't even know what it was.
How old were you when you got diagnosed?
98, I was in the area of about 25. Between 25, 27.
You're 25 years old when you're diagnosed. How old are you now?
59.
And so what happened? You were diagnosed at 25. What was it like for you as a young guy?
Kind of blew me away because at the time I was traveling for business and so on, and it was just, travel was worldwide at the time and was experiencing these issues of the urgency and no control, and, you know, is it kind of your mind playing games with you, or is it your body reacting to these things? And it was kind of getting crazy, you know. And a young guy at that age talked to other people about it, and nobody even knew what Crohn's or colitis was at the time. They're like, "What are you talking about?" You know. So, but my GI doctor at the time was giving me these steroids, and we tried the various IV therapies. Nothing was working, and it just got into an endless loop. I was on steroids, heavy steroids, for a long time. I gained over 40 pounds with steroids. And it basically got to one day I was traveling in the car, and just that weight hanging on me, it just mentally got to me. And it's like, where is my life going with this? And how bad is it going to get? And the doctor, we just got into this endless loop, and he was like, try this, try this, try this. And finally, in 2005, he recommended that I see a surgeon in New York, and went to see the surgeon. And the next thing in line was surgery. They wanted to remove my large intestine. And that was a life-changing event there as well. Kind of scary, not knowing, you know, what the end was going to be. But after the surgery, things calmed down. I was good for about 10 years, but still had multiple bathroom runs during the day, probably upwards of 10, and through the night could be anything from 5 to 6 times through the night. The urgency was there, and it was just somewhat manageable. And the way the doctors talked when we met and we reviewed kind of how things were going, he's like, well, this is going to be your life. And you just think about, you know, you sit back and you think about this, and it's just like, this is no life to live, this kind of thing. And it just, for the 10 years, I was doing okay. It was manageable. And in 2017, I just started this downward spiral where the urgency become greater, and the bathroom runs through the night. I was up 10 to 15 times a night. Just got the signal, and I mean, jumped out of bed, and you've got to be into the bathroom. And I went to my GI doctor. He referred me to another specialist in another hospital, and they put me on Entyvio. And I was doing Entyvio every 4 weeks. And with some dietary changes and things like that, it did improve. It helped a bit, but it plateaued. And I really didn't get any better than, I would say, probably 6 to 7 plus times a night for the bathroom runs. And during the day, couldn't even count. You know, it was just, as soon as your brain thought you had to go, you had to be there, kind of thing. The doctor's recommendation was to go to an ostomy. And that was his way of controlling it, with the Entyvio. And between my wife and I, we said, absolutely not. That's not the road we want to take. And that's when we started to look for alternatives. And we found Dane Johnson.
What other issues were going on? I mean, what about diarrhea, urgency, cramping, pain?
Liquid stool, cramps left and right. It was just, at that point in time, I was actually homebound because I could not plan my day and have a bathroom available when I needed it. It was just out of the question.
Out of the question. And that was going, how long were those symptoms had been going on?
Started in 2017. I saw my GI doctor who put me on the Entyvio. It was actually February of 2017, February of 2018. So it was a year that I actually was on that spiral. I've been with Dane for about a year now, and my life has totally changed. I watch what I eat per Dane's recommendations. We've gone through the various therapies and so on. And at this point in time, I'm up once, maybe twice a night for a bathroom run. And during the day, we're at maybe anywhere between 3 to 4, depending on what you're doing, maybe a little bit more. But total life changer. Couldn't ask for anything better. And we're still a work in progress. So, but we're getting there.
So we were at 30 restroom visits a day.
Yes.
And now we're at 3 to 5 during the day.
Yep.
And then usually 1 time at night right now.
Correct.
So we've gone from 30 down to 4 to 6.
Right.
Through natural medicine.
Yep.
What about your drug use?
I'm taking a baby aspirin, and I'm taking 1 pill for cholesterol, and that's it. I'm off my blood pressure medicine. I've lost some weight. It was a little extreme there for a while, but it rebounded.
You were so committed. In the last year, there's been nothing more important than this.
Exactly. It was a priority. And it was the actual choice is work with Dane or go to and have an ostomy. And the ostomy, it's just not in the cards. It's not going to be.
And what about GI? What about formation and cramping pain? Are you having any of those GI symptoms?
No cramping pain, no bloating. I'm sticking to the diet, and we're expanding it a bit, and things are working. There's no urgency. I can control. If I'm out doing something, I don't have to worry about how far is the next bathroom, where am I going to be, and how can I get to the next room. I don't have to worry about that. I mean, I've done things where I've gone out with friends or family members, and I'm outside and I'm doing things for 8 and 9 hours, and it doesn't even come to mind that I need a restroom. Now, I'm as healthy as I have been in years, and it's just, I sit back and think about it, it puts a smile on my face. My only question was, and I joke with Dane about this, where were you in 2005? Because I wouldn't have had to have that surgery, So.
What have your doctors said about your results and your lab work? I mean, how's that look?
The labs, it's funny because my GI doctor, my family practitioner, my cardiologist, and another functional medicine doctor who I just basically interviewed with, who has Crohn's disease and has the J pouch. The response is at the end of the meeting, keep whatever it is that you're doing, keep doing what you're doing. And they've got this kind of little snicker on their face or whatever, and it's like, hey, it's working, so you can't argue with progress, kind of thing.
What would you say, just anyone out there who's listened to this testimony, listened this far, really is resonating with everything you've been through, and maybe they have a child or they themselves have dealt with this and they just don't know where to turn, they don't know what to do? What would you say to that person?
I believe I've been through the hardest road that anybody can go through in regards to colitis, and have tried everything under the sun that the regular doctors have recommended, thinking that they were the experts and so on, and kind of what they said was law, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But this is the alternative, and it's a good alternative, and it's a working alternative. So I don't even think there's any question that if you're going to entertain Dane as your health coach and so on, it's a no-brainer. Go with it. You'll be happy in the end. It's not gonna be easy, but it's definitely worth it, without question.